Ladies, gentlemen, foxes, turtles, British people, steam locomotives, YouTube, Twitter, and Discord are quite interesting places. They are social battlegrounds where if you do something wrong, you risk being exposed and cancelled over it. The age of anonymous internet usage is dead and has been replaced by entitled viewers and self-righteous content creators. I am well versed in this new exposure culture, having been exposed, expose others, and save the exposed from others. So, today, I'm going to respectfully say, screw each and every one of you. This is an anti-response video. Instead of confessing any hidden wrongdoings or exposing somebody else's public business, we're going to be declaring war on the entire internet. And by watching this, you are now my enemy. And I'm going to explain exactly why by telling you some stories. Grab some popcorn chicken, some cherry 7-Up, because we are going to be addressing other people's allegations. Some of my own, and why it's all actually your fault. Yes, you. You know who you are. I guess this is the pilot for my behind the scenes content creation podcast. So, episode 1, the end of sex and violence on YouTube. The first drama I got into is likely the most memorable one. The battle between Earthworm and just about everyone. To make sure I don't end up restarting any of these, I'm going to be going through each of these quickly and tell you what you should have known from it all afterwards. Earthworm is a YouTube content creator known for theme park design and recreations of Thomas & Friends music. For those of you who don't know, Thomas never got a soundtrack on these, so the fans have been working for decades to recreate all the music cues in the show perfectly. And this naturally requires mimicking the instruments that were originally used, and the exact notes and timings. Sounds tricky, right? This is where Lee and her friends come into our story. Lee recreated the instruments used in seasons 1 and 2 of Thomas digitally, and was kind enough that others use them, provided they give credit. And here's where the counting starts. Buckle up. The events transpire like this. Earthworm finds these instruments, decides he likes them, but things aren't accurate enough, so he messes with the settings and makes them better, and uses them in his own recreations. And he didn't credit Lee because technically, his presets are not the same. However, he left this detail of how he made the presets unmentioned, giving the impression to the general public that he made them all by himself. Lee isn't stupid, so when she noticed, she asked Earthworm what he was playing at, and Earthworm gave a technically truthful response that these presets were actually his. And this is where the narrative gets messy. Hopefully I'm not misremembering anything because it's been a few years. Prompted by her friends to apparently add her own content theft allegations to distract people from, Lee pursued getting credit for the presets she technically created. Earthworm wasn't having it and agreed to credit her for inspiration but nothing else. And she's willing to settle for that, until Earthworm was texted a message containing the N-word and accidentally put it out on Discord. This, combined with Lee's friends probing, started the arguments again. The leader of all this, Master of Trains, made an exposing video containing the rap sheet of stealing presets, MIDI files, fair design elements, as well as being racist and overall clumsy guy in general. None of these allegations held any water besides the MIDI one, because Earthworm didn't credit MIDIs he used for quite a while, and his explanation is he didn't know what they actually were. Master of Trains went the extra mile once he found out people actually supported this guy and nuked Earthworm's Discord server. I didn't really care for that, so I tricked him into nuking my own server on camera, basically saying, "No you," to Lee and Co. In the end, Lee and Earthworm made up and even dated for a time, and the music group still dislikes me. But the thing unknown from this is a simple misunderstanding involving an admittedly stupid protagonist spiraled out of control because somebody wanted to expose him as being evil without enough stuff to do it, and ended up exposing themselves instead, while both Lee and Earthworm suffered serious mental trauma over this for nothing. This is some foul stuff, but not as foul as the things I got up to afterwards. The Thomas fan server is a place full of lore and drama that we could write a book about. But today we are here to laugh at several of the exceptionally stupid people there, and I'm one of them. I was on a bit of a high after solving the Earthworm problem without really trying, so I started looking for more ways to use the art accounts I made for it. Opportunities didn't show up, and my art accounts became jokes that would insult me all the time. However, these jokes did get old. So old that despite there being no actual rule against alts in the server, I got mine banned for being annoying. And I'm not too mad about that, because I was a bit annoying. However, this wasn't enough because later, 2 of my friends were flamed for being my alts, and a lot of us were banned, despite 2 of us being in a VC today prior. I took that as a personal, we don't like you, and will lie and cheat to get rid of you thing, so I fought it, and I won. The lesson to learn from this is that sometimes people just make stuff up about people they dislike for an excuse to publicly shame them. Mr. Coolblue, otherwise known as Huxglitter Wolf, is a Thomas music creator that has been stalked online and in person, actually, for the crimes of posting fetish art on DeviantArt and being a furry. No, I'm not joking. If you think this is a insufficient cause to hunt someone down, you are not smarter than Casher K on Twitter. He knows it too. Thankfully, he's able to make a fake Twitter account under Huxglitter's name to throw things like racism into the mix. This has resulted in a battle of pride between these two that's ongoing, and the fact that some guy on Twitter would dox you and send no enforcement to your home because you're a furry should scare you. Me and Vito share a interesting connection. We both make CCs for Objection No, and we both have been banned from Untitled Courtroom, the server best known for Objection No CCs. And while we both have pedophile allegations, mine is a repeated Thomas fan server finding excuses to get rid of me, because you cannot tell me Purple Fang, a bunny costume, is worse than official arts and sprites from Ace Attorney. However, Vito's allegations are slightly less stupid. Vito made a minor miscalculation. Minor as in sending porn of Athena from Ace Attorney to a minor. How the narrative goes is that Vito met May on Twitter and became friends on Discord. Vito started a bit between them of simping for Athena Sykes, and May went along with it, in part because he has trouble saying no to people. This went on for 1 to 3 months, until Vito sent straight up hentai of Athena, and not hentai as in those extremely large, boobied, AI-generated smut images from Anime Genius. Hentai is in the sort of fan art you can find in 2 seconds with something like Google. Basically the normal kind, if that makes any sense. I did ask around a bit, and May doesn't really care about it one way or the other, and I was told by another friend of mine, the same age, that most teenagers have seen worse. This isn't to say that what Vito did here was great by any means. And ignoring the minor part because it's really only like 2 years between them. Sending NSFW of a fictional character both of you associate with, after knowing each other for not even 4 months, is not a brilliant move no matter how you slice it. If we try to become psychologists, it could have made sense to Vito at the time as a logical step forward in the Athena sipping game because May didn't ever say to stop. And this was supported by the first images he sent being censored and the last one not being. I can't prove this 100% because I don't have access to Vito's DMs. But clearly, someone does. A guy named Irish was informed about what Vito had done and set out to make an exposing video. Vito made a community post confessing to his mistake, and honestly, great choice on his part to own up and not pull an earthy and screw up on step 1. Sadly, step 1 is where the intelligence of this thing dies. Vito put forward the claim that Irish was doxing him, and Irish denied it. Vito had no actual evidence of this, and he redacted it and changed his story that Irish did nothing wrong to reduce the heat. After all, accusing someone of something without any evidence is generally frowned upon. This then stopped both sides from ramping the polarization up to 11, and along the way somehow becoming about JC being a pedophile for saying I love you to Rachel. When it sounds to me like this is just a thing he has where he says love you in a non-romantic way just about everyone. Like how YouTubers might say they love their audience without knowing each person personally. Meanwhile, Vito was starting to panic, and tried asking May to help stop the video from being made, but May was not looking to do him any favors right now. Also, according to him, he did a poor job of asking. So, Irish's video exists now. And yet, something stuck out to me about Vidal's original claim. When I actually got the idea that he was being doxxed, he said from Britt and one other person, who requested a name to be left out of this from here on out, so you will call her Mrs. Q. Mrs. Q is the one I want to focus on, because she is to me the most trustworthy person in the whole Ace Attorney fandom. A mother of one, a friend of many, who has gone through so much physically and emotionally that I will not be accepting any claims that she's lying. She told me that she has been doxxed at least twice by an unknown person, and Vidal claims this was how a photo of his face got out. Countering the claim, there was another photo from a server. Vidal's reasoning was that Irish was the only person who would want to do it, which is why he accused him first. And that's a good deduction on his part. The only fault with it is that it requires Irish to be extremely stupid, because Irish himself just recovered from a breakdown due to drama like this. If Irish is guilty of doxing Vidal, that would mean that he would have done something that would clearly escalate this whole shebang and put more spotlight on him after recovering from the effects of something similar. I personally think Irish has an IQ above 3, so I'm going to assume that Irish personally didn't do it. But then, who did? The logical choice is someone that wants to hurt Vidal and everyone else around him. Irish has friends, and I agree with them, so it's possible somebody like Gentleman or Edgeworth did it. But I'm not going to go too deep into proving one of them did it, because this drama is less than a week old, and there was nothing actually pointing to any of them. There is zero evidence that anybody on Irish's side actually did anything wrong at this point. So I want to make that clear. Do not go knocking on doors and yelling, "What have you done? What have you done? What have you done?" to these guys, because you don't have a source. And if you're calling me the source after me just telling you that there's no evidence they did anything wrong, then at that point you're the one lying. However, I do have a theory of my own. Irish is also involved in exposing Noah DeBar, who recently revealed he has a program that can steal Discord accounts for an email. This proves that a program capable of doing the stuff Vidal and Co. claimed does exist, and that people on both sides of this drama know about its existence. This does not prove anyone I named actually used it. Oh, hi, Mom. I'm just recording a video going over the negative effects of the internet. You want to say hi to the camera? Oh, you don't have to come onto the camera. It's pointed this way. You can say something. Take that. My mother said meow, therefore I'm right. Oh, it's apparently a forwarded message from my cat. You see, that's an even better source of information. My cat. It could very well be some unknown person who's not said a word about this matter. They could go after Vidal next, or Irish. But not me. My real name is Richard Allen. This is my real face. Not some body double stand-in. Yeah, my hometown is easy to find because I own the subway about its subway system. And its info's been out for, I think, 2 years now. I've doxed myself, so you can't touch me. I've doxed myself, so you can't touch me, Mr. Unknown Doxing Guy. And I will hunt you down. You don't get away with hurting innocent supporters of people you don't like and calling it justice. You are just a common quirk, and I know a certain detective that eats quicks for breakfast. Well, not literally. That would be gross. Irish also has a claim that Vidal is homophobic based on satire he sent during a crash out. So to really make fun of his efforts there, here's a compilation of people telling me to kill myself, among other things. live in a world where people feel like it's their duty to expose wrongdoings, to turn people against those they deem evil, over things that are not their time and not their business. If you find out about someone doing something you don't like outside of their public image, you don't have the right to tell your followers about it. If it is a situation where someone is actively being hurt, you tell the proper authorities, not your YouTube audience. And if no one is seriously being harmed, you do nothing because it's none of your business. You are not being a vigilante by turning people against content creators they enjoy. You are being worse than the ones you're exposing because you're drawing attention to it to gain some way, or just because you want to. And the viewers that watch these exposing videos, that do mass unfollowings, and sometimes even harassment, you're the problem for encouraging this. All of you are the problem, and I am formally declaring war on anyone that continues to attack these people, or anyone else. This needs to stop, and I have no qualms risking my own following to defend others that have no one else to turn to. And I'm aware that by saying this, I am calling out countless creators of exposing videos, and the majority of people online because exposing videos get some of the most views out of anything. I have watched them before, making me a part of the problem too. The thing is, I don't care. I'm going to fight for what I think is right anyway. My name is Rick Gowen. Good night.